Law firm success strategies will begin after a brief word from today's sponsor, Answering Legal. Visit answeringlegal.com to learn more about our virtual receptionist team.
I've been utilizing Answering Legal for my firm since 2015, and truth be told, it was a game changer for me. I can be anywhere, and I'm getting my phones answered by Answering Legal. A strategic partner, as I call Answering Legal, provides a great reward. What is that reward? It's time. Time for whatever I want to do. As a private practitioner, I would highly recommend Answering Legal to other private practitioners. Now, every call goes answered.
Hey, and welcome to the Law Firm Success Strategies podcast. This is the show created specifically to address the unexpected challenges that lawyers face when you have to run a law firm and you're thrust into leadership and business roles, and we want to teach you how to grow and secure your law firm. I'm your host, Doug Brown. As a former practicing attorney turned executive coach, I work with law firm owners, managing partners, and practice group leaders. And what I've discovered is while lawyers spend lots of years honing your legal skills, only to discover that running an actual business requires a whole new set of capabilities and outside of legal expertise. And contrary to what you might have heard or read, you don't need to go back to school to accomplish your goals. You just need to apply skills in new ways. That's what I do with my private coaching clients, and that's what I want to tackle on this podcast. Topics like leadership, marketing, talent, management, work-life balance, practice growth, and the skills you need to really get you from where you are to where you need to be. And rather than theoretical conversations, we're going to take a practical approach on the problems you face right now. And I'm excited to dig into these topics with guests like my guest today. We're going to share game-changing and actionable insights. So today, I'm thrilled to have Philip Fairley joining us on the show as CEO of Rainmaker Legal Marketing. He's an expert on the latest strategies to drive the right clients to your firm. And we're going to focus today on video marketing to drive growth for law firms. And this is perfect for you if you're looking to stand out online and attract more of the ideal clients. That's where Philip comes in. I'm excited for this because I'm working on my own video marketing. And so I figured part of the podcast is to invite people to teach me what I need to know, and you'll learn at the same time. So welcome, Philip. I'd love to have you on the show today.
Well, thanks, Doug. I really appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit of information about something that's pretty unique that only comes along once every decade in legal marketing and lead generation. So it's a pretty exciting time. And I appreciate the invite, and I'm excited to share some real practical strategies.
Yeah, let's go. So, one of the things you like to talk about in our pre-show prep is about this idea of a big blue ocean opportunity for attorneys. And this is a really good time. We're recording in September of 23, but what makes now the ideal time for lawyers to get into video marketing?
Well, I guess there's a couple things, a couple questions, and they'll be rhetorical, so bear with me because I'm a dad, so I kind of tend towards those rhetorical. Some people call them dad jokes.
Maybe we'll work some dad jokes in, right?
Right. Do you need your phone to ring every day? Raise your hand. Do you get referrals? Then raise your hand. And if either of those apply to you, then video is actually the biggest opportunity. And I'm not exaggerating, since probably, I don't know, maybe Google LSA ads, local service ads, or even really good social media marketing. It's the biggest opportunity because the way that people consume their entertainment and their information has radically changed over the last 2 or 3 years. And the opportunity is not new, and you guys know what I'm talking about. You get stuck in bed at 11 p.m., 11:30 or 9:30, depending on what age group you're in, and you're checking out Facebook, and you get to Reels, or, God forbid, TikTok is not just for 16-year-olds, and you start watching video. And you consume it. It's everywhere. It's how we consume information. There's not as much book reading. There's not as much blog reading. All of these things. We want little snippets. Why? Because we can satisfy information really quick. So with video, it takes something that's static and it's able to tell a story really quickly. And if you pay, let's say you pay, I don't know, $4,000 a month for a billboard for a 3-month contract, how many eyes are you going to get on that? Well, video's forever. It stays there. And I'm not talking going viral, but what I'm talking about is you will get 10, 20, 100, 1,000 times more views off a video that costs you nickels compared to a billboard, that you'll get and you can use time and time again, and not just for like a 3-month span. It's the most consumed way that we're getting our entertainment right now. And the reason why it's so exciting right now, so many other industries are already deep into this. Law firms, if you don't believe me, go to YouTube, which is the number 2 search engine, owned by the number 1 search engine.
Yeah, right.
Go to YouTube, and hopefully you live in a big city or a small city, right? Because a bigger city, my analogy will play better. Go there, and then let's say you're a criminal defense. Type in criminal defense, Philadelphia. Estate planning, Seattle, in the number 2 search engine. You're not going to find anything that's maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe a couple that are 7 or 8 years old. There's just nothing out there. And that's where people go and look for information. That's why it's such a big opportunity. Yeah.
So right now is an interesting time. Do you see this as they're an advantage for first movers, for people who say, I'm not going to put this off till next year. I'm going to give this a go. Is there a reason to do it sooner rather than later?
Well, yeah, because we run this 7-day video challenge that we charge a couple dollars to come, and we teach you how to record a video in 15 minutes or less, how to script a video in 5 minutes or less. After your first 1 or 2 months, you'll get there. And it's packed, loaded every single time. When I go to any type of legal event or show, that's all that people are asking about. We're getting several phone calls weekly, people asking us about it. It's the hottest topic, and it's because attorneys are so slow to this, but that gives everybody an opportunity. Remember when, and I don't know your experience, Doug, with local service ads, they're really, by the way, if you're spending any money in marketing, that's probably where it should go first for paid marketing and to maximize that. But Google LSA ads, Google local service ads. When we first started helping our clients do those, a handful of years ago, they were getting not phone calls, not leads, not qualified. They were getting clients for like $25, $35, $45 a piece. All right. Now that's $250. And going up. Right. So early adopters, yes, please. Absolutely. I can't. If we do this, we should put in our calendars and do this next fall. And my conversation with you will be a little different.
Yeah. So this ties really nicely, Philip, into, when I teach my clients and talk about marketing, I like to talk about the 3 marketing strategies that don't cost anything. And it's really just a new spin on, the networking and the referral. And one of my favorites, the speaking strategy. And one of the, I think the advantage right now is that when you're using this as the strategy, it's really helping you elevate your expertise and credibility, right?
Yeah. Well, it's what we call top of the funnel type information. That's what marketers call it. So that's educational. That's tips, strategies, that's information. That's what we do at Rainmaker. You don't want to talk about bottom of the funnel topics, whereas it's like, hey, I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal defense attorney. Here's for a free consult. You tell them, here's 5 things you need to know if you get pulled over for DUI, right? Or whatever it may be. You extrapolate that out. But the neat part about video is, let's just take those 3 items that you talked about really, really quick. And that's for kind of what I would call non-paid marketing. There's a couple other areas in there, but that's really good categories. So if I miss them, I may ask you again. So let's talk about referrals. Referrals look you up under Facebook, and they look you up under reviews. If your clients are under 40, they're looking on social media. They're going to look you up for reviews, and they're going to hit your website, even if they're a referral. So you better have some video on there. You better have video on your social media. Why? Because if you're not, they're like, okay, neutral score in my mind. But I go to the next one and they do, well, +1 to your competitor. Why? Because it shows you're an authority and you've been around. So referral marketing, absolutely. And if the referral calls you and they don't set the appointment right away because they're still on the fence, they don't have a case, they don't know if you're right, yeah, whatever their reason may be, you better stay in touch with them. That's not lead generation marketing, that's nurturing marketing. Your marketing changes. Don't forget that. Most attorneys think their marketing stops when the phone rings. No, it just changes to nurturing. You want to get somebody to call you back after they called you the first time and you're not chasing them? Send them a video series. Case study. Here's some things that I've done in your area that you're talking about. Because you've got practice, you got 3-4 practice areas or sub practice areas in your firm. You should have a video series for each one. Here's a case study. Here's what I did. Here's 3 things that happen if you wait. Oh my gosh, they're like, keep them 3 minutes, real quick. They'll see them thousands of times. You want people to, so that's referrals. So the other one was speaking. Yeah. We're just launching this right now. It's philipfairley.com. And we're going to create the speaker bio because we get invited, like we're going to the Illinois State Bar in 2 weeks to talk about video. We've got a whole series of videos and samples that we give to people. Now they're calling us to ask us to speak. Why? Nobody else is doing that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about your local community. Where do you want to speak? Where's a good place to speak for let's say you're an estate planning attorney in Omaha. Doug, what would be a good place for you to tell them to go speak at?
Well, I love the free forums that they're dying for speakers. So I love things like Rotaries and Chamber of Commerce and small events that are looking for short form useful content, because it also allows you to build relationships and it doesn't have a 6-month lead time.
Yeah, absolutely. So those people talk about being set apart and then clamoring and begging you. And then you take that video series that you've created for each of your practice areas, and then you ask if they can share it with their membership. Okay. Right. Now you've just repurposed it two different ways.
100%.
So speaking, it's going to help you with speaking. What was the other one? Networking. Okay. How many business cards can you get? And what do you do with those after you're done? They sit on your desk until maybe they email you, maybe they don't, but you put in a pre-canned, hey, you write out the email and you've got a couple of videos and you have a video in there. This is what I help people with. I want to know, and you tell them, you reiterate how you can help them, the type of relationships you come in contact with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And then, this is genius, because this works with referral partners. This is what we're doing, Doug. This is what you can do with video. And then you say, I want to interview you. What? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to go to a cup of coffee after our networking. Yeah, that's fine. What? Blah. No, I want to interview. What do you mean? Oh, so you're the State Farm agent in town. Mm-hmm. You own this town. I want to interview you. And we're going to do it on our cell phone. And I'm going to ask you questions about your business. And I want to know everything about your business. Then, Mr. State Farm, I'm going to share that with my entire database list. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. It's going out in my newsletter. You're going to backlink it. You put it on your website. But guess what? Your law firm logo is there. It's better than supporting a little league and getting it on the back of the shirt, right? Your logo's there. It's the State Farms. You just said, I want to make marketing videos for you, Mr. State Farm. Let me make you some marketing videos that you can reuse. And then everyone gets your law firm name imprinted on them. And they're like, you've given me this? You're like, yeah, selfishly.
Well, yeah. So I love this. Like I like to think I'm an extrovert, and I love behind my microphone and camera. And, let's say that some of our law firm leaders are thinking, boy, this sounds really great. And then they're starting to tell themselves stories of why maybe it's too complicated or it's not for them. And so what do you see that gets in the way of lawyers who could really benefit from this kind of strategy, but why are they holding themselves back? What's in the way for them?
I'm going to tell you the practical, the big categories is, one, they don't calendar it. Two, well, first, it should be, they don't have a plan or a system to do it.
Okay.
So when they do it, it takes them forever. And then 3 days later, they've done one and it's terrible. And they're like, I can't do this. Two, they don't calendar the time to do it. And they don't split up their strategy / scripting from a different day from the recording.
Oh, interesting.
And if you don't do that way, you just, it's too hard to do. But the biggest thing to overcome on this, Doug, is a clear statement that I've never seen a 7-inch piece of plastic drop a man or a female to their knees quicker than your cell phone when somebody turns the camera on. They're scared and they're terrified. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to
Mhm.
do. I've got a face for radio. I don't know. You guys can't probably see me. I'm bald. My beard's gray now. I'm chubby. I'm a dad. It's like they don't care. And I don't know what to say, and I'll look stupid. Well, here's the dirty little secret. You have to get it lightly edited, but you don't post it or publish it if you don't like it. So just
Well,
do it.
I've done a lot of speaking. Of course, people hear, they have this thing where, well, speaking is worse than death. I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
right.
But there is this fear of it's not going to be good enough, or people are going to
Yep.
laugh at it, or it's not going to be really slickly produced, and or all the list of excuses. And when I started, I taught for 6 years in an online MBA program. It was a online program, so I did a lot of stuff on video. And one of the lessons I learned was, if you were teaching live in a classroom, or if our clients were talking live to somebody in a courtroom, you don't get to say, cut, let me redo that. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And what I've since learned is, I'll ask your opinion on this. Do you think that videos that have a little bit of rough around the edges, reality, are those more credible than the really slickly produced ones?
Yeah, I got a great comment on that. Because we have a tool at Rainmaker, we call it Rainalytics. Yeah, there's a play on that. It's our analytics tool that we plug into.
Like you're a marketing guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And we help our clients run their firm with data. And what that does is we track everything from their lead sources to their web, to their videos, to their open rates, to their appointment set rates, to their close rate by the attorneys, to Zoom, close better than phone. We've worked with over 23,000 attorneys since 1999. We have a lot of data points. There's a competitor in our space that will sell you very large video packages that are fantastically produced, and I call them law and order videos. And here's the thing. If you've ever been an attorney that bought the magazine cover that you were talked into for narcissistic reasons, that had a circulation of 10,000 people, but 9,999 of those were other people that bought the cover of the law firm magazine, and you got a great write up, and you put it in your lobby, right? Then go ahead and get those law and order videos. They don't convert. Nobody watches them. They think they're a produced advertisement. If you're doing mesothelioma and you're doing it nationwide, go ahead, right? But what works right now, what resonates right now, is amateur videos with professional editing. 1,000%. It's maybe 1,000 views versus one, right? Is the difference. They don't go to the internet to watch a highly produced piece of video, because that's not what's on social. That's not what you consume.
Right.
You get that through Netflix.
So you said, it was interesting. I haven't heard it this way before. What is what did you just say? You said professionally edited, but personally shot?
Amateur shot.
Amateur shot.
Amateur shot, lightly professionally edited.
So that means using your iPhone and just creating some video?
Well, let me tell you how this is. Let me tell you how this works. Let me give you a start to a system. And then I'd love to tell you about our 7-day video challenge. And we also have a YouTube optimization guide, YouTube channel optimization guide. I'd love to share that. I just want to share it with you guys.
Sure.
Because it's good stuff. So equipment. Let me tell you about equipment. Equipment. You need a $30 tripod that will raise to 6 feet and shrink to about 2. And you get that on Amazon, $30. You need a plug-in microphone. Do not use Bluetooth microphone. Use the one that plugs into your phone, whether that's USB or Lightning. I think they don't have Lightning, right?
Whatever it is.
You get a plug-in lapel where it clips right here on your lapel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your equipment. You find a location to shoot. It should be interesting. Don't you dare do it in your law library. I mean, your conference room. Do it. It can be outside. It could be in your backyard. It could be an interesting picture in your background that's your personality. It could be to a side angle. It just does not need to be. Just don't make it look like, tell me you're an attorney without telling me you're an attorney. That's the background you need to choose. So make it casual. Because why? Go watch short videos and videos out there right now. The backgrounds could be in your car. Some of the ones that get 10,000 views in a week, they're taking it in their car in their parking lot. Just make it different, right?
I've seen cars. I've seen walking videos through a random neighborhood.
My best one, I had like 10,000 views in like 4 hours. It was referral partners. Create a video interview them. That strategy. I put it on a short. I was sitting in my backyard. Thankfully, I'm blessed. I live in Arizona and I have palm trees and I got a pool because I got teenagers. And I was wearing a Top Gun t-shirt that my kids got me for Father's Day. And I was having my lunch out there and I just picked up the phone with the background and just started talking about how to use videos in referral partnerships. That went crazy. Why? Because it's just different. Right? Tell me you're an attorney without telling me you're an attorney. So you got basic equipment, and then you got a cell phone. If it's 2 years old or newer, fantastic. By the way, there's a couple different ways to shoot. If you shoot up and down, right? If you shoot vertical, that's for short forms. TikToks, Reels, things, shorts, things like that. If you do long forms, and when I say short, 30 seconds to 90 seconds. When I say long, 4 to 8 minutes, usually around 5.5. And there's a reason for that. Just trust me. You can ask me the reasons why. I won't tell you today, but trust me. But those you want to shoot horizontally with your camera. But then I'm going to tell you what you can do at all. So you got the equipment. You know which direction to shoot it. You stand 3, 4, 5 feet away from waist high so they can see you on the screen. And you turn the camera towards you. And you put it in the tripod in front of you. And you're standing 3, 4 feet away from it, right? That's what you do. And you got your mic plugged in, lapelled up. There you go. Don't wear a suit and tie unless it's your clientele is like super formal. Like you only work with accountants. Loosen up a little bit.
So,
right?
And I've found myself doing exactly what you've described. I've got my little lapel.
But that's 20% of it.
Mic here because sound is important, and I've got my little tripod that can also be a selfie stick, so I got that going, and then I get to the point of what am I going to say?
Yeah, I had these great ideas when I was setting the tripod up
because this, and even I get feedback from my wife who loves and supports me and says even I'm not going to watch you for 5 minutes.
So my wife gets pissed when they want me to go speak somewhere. She's like, they're paying you to talk. Really? Can I pay you to not?
So the question I have might be the same question the audience has of saying, well, what do I have that I can talk about that's useful in a short in 90, never mind 5 minutes, but it takes me 5 minutes to warm up and I've only got 5. So what should I be talking about? And how should I talk about it in such a short form? Because I'm a lawyer. I like long form.
Yeah. So I want you to hold that thought for a second, and I'm going to call that content or scripting. I want to walk you through the rest because that's so key. But there's a couple other things that you're missing other than the equipment that will complete the circle.
Okay, go ahead.
The first is set aside 30 minutes a week to write your scripts and strategize. What are you going to talk about? 1 or 2 days later, schedule in your calendar, I'm going to shoot the video now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the best way to do it. Trust me, it works. We've tried it every which way.
Not write and shoot the same day.
Yeah, not usually. It just don't. It just gets stressful. You'll get to the point where you may not even script and you'll just start shooting if you follow the system because you'll just memorize the system. Then when you script, you need a template. It's like an outline for every different type of thought that you have. So, for instance, one template that we create for our clients is like a did you know outline. So what that means is you've got a hook at the beginning. Hey, did you know if you want to get divorced in North Carolina, you've got to be physically separated for 364 days before you can file? Or like you're a PI attorney. Did you know that every PI law firm says they're free? But here's 5 ways they can cost you millions of dollars. Right? So it's like a did you know series. And
Okay.
you can go anywhere with that. But it's like in your template, we have Word documents you create, and you just keep using them over and over again. Like you've got a hook. That's one sentence, maybe two. Make it salacious. That's going to determine, you got 7 seconds, whether they're going to click on it or whether they're even going to last. So you hook them in. And then, so that's your hook. So every template, you got a hook. Then you back out, not necessarily physically, but then you say, hello, my name's Philip Fairley. I'm from Rainmaker Institute, and we help law firm owners grow. Right? 2 sentences, 1 sentence of who you are. Why? Your audience doesn't care who you are. They don't care about you. Get over it. But you should tell them. But make it quick. Like, you saw mine. Philip Fairley, owner of Rainmaker Institute. We help law firms grow. And then you then back up or get forward again, and then you recap and take off from where your hook was. So you have a body. So you've got like 2, 3 transition lines, right? And these are lines that when you have a thought and you have a process, you'll start filling them in. And then you have 3 points. Your body usually should have 3 points. You've got 1 point, 2 point, and a case study, or how it works, or social proof, or a story, or something about that. That's the best. Not always, but let's say try to boil it down to 3 points. And those 3 points, right? And then at the end, you have an ending. Hey, and then you recap the entire problem again, and you tell them, if you're in Orange County and you're considering getting a divorce, right, would love to talk you through how this could help you. And if you like this information, you know what? Subscribe to our channel. We send this type of stuff out because we just want to help. ABC Law Firm, right? Or whatever your ending is. So you have this template now. You have one for a case study. But essentially, what you do during that 30 minutes, you're like, so topics. This is a good place to insert where you get your content or topics. It's an FAQ. What's the last 10 questions you got at a consult by practice area? What's the last 10 questions your intake got this week? What are they next week? This is it. And then you start thinking, you're like, wow, they asked me a really interesting question. I'm going to make a video about it. And then there's other options, Doug. There's like React videos. That's a whole nother session where it's like, I've got a client in New Jersey. He did the John Morant strip club, caught a gun twice in 2 weeks at 2 different clubs, did videos and got like 100,000 views on it in like 3 days. And he didn't get a phone call, but then his videos all started going from like 400 or 500 views to like 700, 800, 900. They started watching them more. So there's different strategies to do this, but you script it with a template and then you shoot it the next day or the next day after that.
And, and I think just to be clear, you're having the topics are things that are not about your law firm. They're about what the problem is the client has. Because how many times have you had clients come to you where they spent all their time on their website or in their profile talking about how great they are and how ineffective that is. So they need to be focused on giving value, not legal advice, but information that's top of mind for their avatar.
I wouldn't
right?
even say information. Your website shouldn't be very informational. It should be all about their why. Why are they calling you? What problems do you solve? What do you help? What's in it for them? They don't care about you. What's in it for them? Talk to them, not the first time you say Esquire after your name or yes, or you start talking about where you went to law school is the minute they're kind of checking out. And you sound like every other attorney. And then if you're like everyone else, they're going to beat you up on price.
So when you're speaking on video, and you speak to rooms just like I do, are you speaking as if you're speaking to an individual person or to like a member of a group?
Clarify that. Tell me,
So,
what do you mean?
Well, it's not so much naming them, but as if it's just a two-way conversation with you versus you're talking to a room full of people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. My first video sucked because I did them like I was speaking in front of an audience. No, not. Hey, not that's how I speak, but conversation Move your hands. That's why you have to have it above your waist, and change your expressions. Do not be someone different. Do not be monotone. First time they're monotone, they check out. Do you have a conversation like if you're a sports fan, talk about like you're talking to your neighbor about the sports team? Or if you just landed a new client or got a big settlement for a client, like you're telling one of your female colleagues, if you're the female business owners, whatever it may be, like you're animated, but you're having a conversation and you 1000% talk to them one-on-one. Absolutely. That's all that they care. What's in it for me? Because you got 7 seconds. They're flicking off your video. If you don't tell them why they should be there in the first 7 seconds to solve a pain they're looking to solve. So you talk about their pain. It's like when you market, when you talk about a benefit, then when you talk about, evading a negative, it's like a 4x return on the evading the negatives. That's why Jerry Springer made such a career, because it all made us feel better, but all he talked about was all the, right?
So if I had a choice between making 3 videos, 1 topic each of what you should do, or 3 topics of mistakes to avoid, you would go after the mistakes.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But that's a really good point, Doug. That's not the first videos I do, though. What we do for our clients is we do core videos first to start with. So the core videos, it's going to be the About Us. That's usually the second most visited page on any website, whether you like it or not, or your attorney profile. Every one of your attorneys should have a profile video, and it should be talking about why you're in law, what you like to do with life, and if you can, have your dog in the side, or your guitar, or your golf club. Why? Oh my gosh, attorney, this isn't an attorney. This is a real person. Attorneys aren't real people. This is a real person. Why? Your competitors aren't doing it. What do you want to buy for? Somebody you can relate to. We got a bankruptcy attorney. She's an elderly lady. No, she's not. Because I'm getting there. She's 60 years old. That is not elderly.
That is not elderly. No, that's not elderly.
Absolutely. That's strike one. I get it. That's not even a good dad joke. She's loves to knit. You'd think it'd be an estate plan. No, she's bankruptcy. All of her videos now, she's the knitting attorney. Who was that bankruptcy? I saw the video. I don't remember ABC law firm, but she knit. Let me go find. It's brand recognition, right? So you got to have your core videos. So you got a profile video for each attorney. You need to have like a how it works, how you work, what you do, what your process is. What I like to call it is what it's like to be a client on day number 1. And that's a great video to send to people who are on the fence, that aren't a client.
That's brilliant. Yes.
I love it. That's your first email that goes out after they leave a consult and don't hire you. What it's like to be a client of ours day number. We take it all. You get a team approach. We do this. What's your value, right? So testimonials are great. Hard to get on video. And then you need a firm branding video. What's your values and what you stand for, right? Those are some core videos. Then your best next set of videos should be your nurturing videos. So you better have an intake system that automates the nurturing. If you don't, you won't scale your firm, and because you'll always spend so much money on marketing, because you're going to need 10 qualified leads to get 2 clients versus 4 qualified leads to get 2 clients, because you're not nurturing them. Right? When you nurture them, your nurturing videos they're probably some of the most valuable ROI on a video. And what you do with that is you start saying, okay, if I have a 7-step conversation with somebody after they leave a consult and they don't hire me about a probate case, right? If I had 7 touch points, what would I want to tell them? Make a video and write the text out so they have the video and the text, and that drips out to them. Depends on your sales cycle. If it's DUI, it goes out, you want to touch them every day. If it's estate planning, you know what? Drip them out once a week, twice a week at the most, and then start whatever your sales cycle is. So your nurturing videos, you start at your nurturing videos. And those aren't just for no consults hired at the consult. It's also for the people that call in your firm. They're still on the fence. They don't set an appointment with you. We call those no appointment sets. Those, you drip out the same emails to them. You got to find out what they're calling about because they don't know if they have a case. They're scared. Maybe they don't want to proceed. They don't know. They don't know your system.
Are,
They're shopping, right?
Philip, are these emails? Are they emails with an
Yes.
embedded video?
Yes.
Are they text or what do they look like?
We always say at least 7 email messages with at least half of them have to have video. Some of them a little bit longer, some of them real short. And then if you're doing that, you should absolutely do that with automation. You also should be calling them 5 to 7 times. That should be a task that pops up in your intake software.
Wait. The actual telephone?
Yeah. That's why your intake, oh my gosh, your intake should be making 2 to 3 times more outbound calls than inbound calls if you want to grow your firm. And if you want to lower your marketing costs and everything you do. You gotta it's a sales position.
It sounds like we should do a whole other episode on intake process. That could be a fun one.
Difference between a good firm and a great firm? Tell me about your intake. I'll tell you whether you have a great firm or a good firm. Anyways,
yeah. So go on.
Let's say you got 7 emails,
Mm-hmm.
1 to 3 text messages with a link to the video. That's it. But you got to have permission. You have to have a texting system, and it should be integrated in your intake. And if you don't, you're losing dozens of clients a year, a month, a week, whatever your lead volume is. So you better do that. But use those nurturing videos because they actually get opened. We know it because we track all the emails our clients send.
And so these videos are scripted so that you don't have to redo them for each client. They're
you tag them with the practice area, the case type, their issue, and then no appointment set. And then all the no appointment sets dribble out over the next 2
You're
years.
You're using a CRM to do all this stuff.
Yeah. Full disclosure, we have one. We call it Turbine. We build it for our clients. But yeah, and it integrates with the practice management software. But we only built it, Doug, because there was nothing that would do all the nurturing automated you wanted. Because you guys
the automated. Yeah, what I've found with the automated nurture is, and one thing I've been mindful of with it is, if somebody responds to you, you have to remember to go in and turn off the nurture because now they're out of the sequence. You're talking to them. Otherwise, they're going to continue to get it.
That's why you have to have an intake system, not just a CRM, an intake system, because then when they respond, the system knows it. Or if the intake person's calling them, they update that person to appointment set or hired or whatever.
And takes them out of the sequence.
And they're popped out. But guess what? Then you got another sequence for that stage.
Of course you do.
Of course you do. Down the stage. Yeah.
One of the things I see in some videos is, people they want to have a fancy logo or an intro or theme music or something like that. What's your view on that level of production?
I think you get one that's real short and real sweet, and it's nice and it's quick. Like 3 seconds, 4 seconds. But the key to your videos is not just how you're going to get eyes on them. Now you've made them, how you're going to distribute it. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I can if we have time.
Yeah.
But with the emails, you're distributing it that way. But your videos, all of them need to reside on YouTube to start with, and then you spread them out from there. But it's all more about the thumbnail, the image of the video with the title. You have to SEO the title. What are people looking for on the internet? Yeah, and then you put in a thumbnail. That's going to determine if somebody clicks on it or doesn't. If it's not you in an animated way, not your law firm logo, no, but that's not it. Nobody cares about what colors your logo is. What's in it for me, right?
Yeah, my sense would be if somebody were just starting out to not even worry about that, to just go and get started. But you raised a good point. It goes back
you have to do the thumbnail, and your editor better edit and be able to create a thumbnail.
So what do you recommend for somebody who's getting started? One of the things that I think that I've found that holds lawyers back is they get into this and then they get curious and I'll figure out how to do this stuff. Right? I'll figure out how to edit my videos and whatever. Yeah. And then as a result, it doesn't really happen because it's way harder than they think, because it's not, and they're thinking I should be practicing law. And they're right. That's why I talk about you should be figuring out who can do something for you, not how to do it yourself. Some of the stuff is you got to have your microphone and your tripod and you've got to shoot the video. But what does somebody do to get somebody to do that light editing that isn't going to cost a fortune?
It shouldn't cost a fortune. There's a lot of freelancers out there. You'll burn through them, and they'll disappear after 3 months. You'll be chasing. It's one of the reasons why we do this all A to Z, like white glove for our clients. Like we even script and do this things for them. We teach it to the ones that have the time that can't invest in somebody that's done it. Because it took us 2 years to figure it out. And we have a team. We have 8 people in our video team. We didn't have 8 when we started. We had about half that, and it took us 2 years. It's not hard. It's like poker. It's not hard to learn how to play, but it's hard to be good. And if you're not good, you're going to stop doing it. So you're not going to be consistent. So you need to set up your place you're going to shoot. You need to get your equipment. You need to figure out your scripting and then shoot it. And then you've got to figure out your editing. The best thing to do is to start finding somebody that probably in your local area that you can maybe go meet with if you're skeptic, or remote, because it doesn't have to be there. But if you're looking for your first dip into it and you're like, I'm going to do 90%, like I'm going to do the distribution. I just need editing, because an editor won't distribute it. And then you'll have nice videos and then nobody watches them. So distribution is so key. But it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg for the editing, but that's not the main thing to be worried about. But your editor, they need to have done YouTube videos. If they can do YouTube videos and TikTok videos, then they can edit most likely for what you need them. But the proof's in the pudding. What do they produce for you?
Well, and that's the other thing that I think is, you look at this kind of project, and it's a little bit like cracking the code on LinkedIn, and that is you can create lots of posts and comments, but if it doesn't get eyeballs, what have you accomplished? So
you've all seen your competitors do that. You've seen them pop up on social media or LinkedIn. Like, oh my gosh, they got to be killing it. 3 months later, you don't hear from them again. Why? They didn't do it right. They probably spent a lot of money and didn't do it right. So that brings me to the point of the distribution. And so I think if I share this with you, Doug, it's going to change everybody's hesitancy if they can actually pull off video. Because just to let you know, we have attorneys that go through our system, through our 7-day challenge, and they learn how to do this, that they're like, they have the personality of an actuary, and then they end up
with all due respect to actuaries.
With all due respect, my cousin is an actuary, and he's very brilliant, and he's a great guy. But I'm just saying, they're not usually the most social. People are like, I'm not the social, I'm a B personality, or whatever it may be. Works for everybody. The only people it doesn't work is if you don't have a system process to follow. Then it won't work.
Okay.
It just won't. So, distribution. When I tell you about this is going to change your mind. Because this is actually, if you create video content and then you put a couple other systems in place, when I say systems, not sophisticated, just A, then B happens, then C happens. This will take care of, if you're not paying for marketing, if you're not doing Google paid ads or YouTube paid ads or Facebook paid, if you're doing all these other things that you were talking about before, this will actually be your entire marketing plan on all your content for it. Here's what you do. It's called omnipresent marketing. This is crazy. This is the benefit. Another thing that we cracked. Don't tell your competitors this. So you've gone through the process and you created your video. So you've got it lightly edited. It's a 5.5-minute video. Then there's a couple AI tools, right? Not ChatGPT, but similar like that. You put that in there and it will translate all of the words from your video into text. And then there's another one that will help you formulate it into a more of a conversation. So it takes it and makes it a little, and tightens it up a little bit. Then what we do, we do research for keywords for SEO that people are looking for and stuff them in. You don't have to do that. That's more sophisticated. But now you've got a video that's 5.5 minutes, and now you've got this text, and guess what? That's your blog. That's your blog, and you put it on your website with the video and the blog below. And then your editor, you tell them, I've got this 5.5-minute long form video on YouTube. Remember, that's shot horizontally. Right. I want you to slice it up into 2 or 3 shorts for me, 30 to 40 seconds each. Just the nuggets of what I'm saying. Just cut out a couple nuggets. And then You take those, and now you've got your social media as well. So now your social media looks like this. And you create a calendar for this. So let's just say day number 1, I post a long form video. Then my next posting, the middle of the week, I post the blog. And then on that Friday, I post my first short. Then on that Sunday, I post my next short. And then on that next Thursday, I post my next short. You've got your social media organically taken care of by creating one video and having a couple systems in place. You also, if I usually say if I was in front of a crowd, Doug, I'd be like, raise your hand if you have a monthly newsletter. And like 3 older like law firm owners would have it. And I'm like, all you people that think it's not, you guys are silly. Absolutely. It's one of the biggest ROIs. And everybody should have everybody on their list that's ever talked to them on their newsletter. So now your newsletter is written too, because you put a video, you put your videos in there, and you get the long form blog. So you get your video, your newsletter. And now you can create videos that will help you with nurturing. So then you can put those on YouTube, but then you can put them in your nurturing emails. So you can dual purpose them. I.e., you take this video and you repurpose it for every platform. When I say shorts, then it's your Facebook Reels, it's Instagram, and it's TikTok. You've got them all by making one video. You've got your blog, you've got your newsletter, you've got everything organically. And now you just have those people or those processes or those systems in place because you got the outline. And now you just start creating more videos. And all of a sudden, your phone starts ringing. Give it 3 months, give it 4 months. You will get business. If you've never done a newsletter and you put everybody in it and you start nurturing, you've never nurtured anybody before, you start sending these videos out to nurture, that first month you get 1 or 2 more extra clients. But in 3 months, your phone will start ringing with more inbound calls than you had previously. Every time. Next year, smaller opportunity.
Oh, with that back to the blue ocean of right now is the opportunity for that. Next year it'll be different.
We're teaching the heck out of every attorney that will listen to us, and we're the only ones in the whole North America, Doug, that have cracked this code so you can do this. Everyone else wants to send you a video package and send out a crew. We teach you how to create fresh content that people want, amateur shot, light professional edited, fresh. We do all the distribution for our clients. So all those things I was telling you, we do that. So when they get our video package, then they get their social media package, they get their newsletter package, they get their blog package, they get their fresh update on their SEO content for their website package, they get their advertisements because we'll turn them in, make them Facebook ads if they want to use their videos that month for it. So you start with a video and then all of your marketing is done and taken care of for you. And if you want to run ads and you run text ads, your cost is going to be 2 or 3 times more than if you took an ad and ran a video. You'll get triple the results and about 3 times less the cost.
Yeah, one of the things, it's interesting you mentioned so much good stuff here. And in the last couple years, where say local ads was the thing and it was cheap, then when it got effective and everybody was doing it, they got expensive.
But you still should be maxing that out. But
yeah, there's a window of time to do this well, and it occurs to me that as I'm listening to all the things you're talking about, content's the easy part, right? Coming up with what to talk about is if you have the template, you wind up with the situation I feel with. I've only got this. There's so many things. What am I going to talk about?
45 videos waiting for editors to edit. I'm backed up and I'm making more today. Why? Because I think about content. I'm like, oh, that's really good. Let me make a quick video.
That's right. And I think one of the things we is part of Summit Success is my business. You know, we've got a business book publishing division, and one of the things that our leader Ann talks about is you just have to embrace the fact that you're going to have just really crappy first drafts. And when you first start your videos, they're not going to be the world's best videos, but you got to just start, right? You got to just get out there and do it over and over.
I always, a little saying, getting it done is better than perfect. I'll bet the $100 on the attorney that gets it out with a spell check error on a text message, and I mean on the content if they're doing, putting in text in there in the editing and there's an error and the call to action gets cut off. with the last 5 seconds, rather than the attorney that makes sure every T is crossed and I dotted. They're wearing a suit. There's a crew, and it's there. I'll bet all the money on the attorney that gets it done, because there is so much forgiveness. Here's the problem: when you start watching video, you're like, "Wow, they're terrible," but But I'm still watching it. There's a lot of forgiveness. And if you make it about them, they don't judge the way you look or what you're saying. You're talking to them about their problem they're having right now.
And they want authentic,
Yeah.
and
Real.
they want you to be a real person.
Like, here's how I'm going to, good titles for some of these and cat taglines is, hey, an attorney breaks down X, Y, and Z. People want to know what attorneys think about this for reality. Like, hey, let me break this down to you and what it really means. Right? You're not leaning in like this when you've got a crew in there and they only come out once a year because it's $60,000 or whatever it may be.
And I've seen clients who will come in and they'll say, "Let me show you my professionally shot video," and it's like,
Awesome.
yeah, everybody's on their best behavior. I really didn't learn much about them, and they're doing the nice marketing talking points that don't really say anything. And it's not that they're bad; it's just that they're what everybody else is doing. And I love what you said earlier about getting out into your environment so people know who you are and they can see and hear you speak.
There's an attorney down in Texas. This is what he does, and I love this. So after you get your core videos, you get your nurturing videos, and then like your top 10 FAQs for each practice area. You're going to get through those. What he does is he does one educational video a week, and then he goes to a new restaurant in town, and then at the restaurant in town, he interviews them like it's a food show. And so it's a review show of the restaurants in his local community, and he's the attorney doing it, and he sits down with the owner, and they make some food, and they eat, and they just talk about the restaurant, and it's all about the restaurant. It's all about the restaurant. And then he just keeps doing it, and he gets a lot of views, and they know he's an attorney. So if they have an attorney issue, they're probably going to call him. Why? Tell me you're an attorney without telling me you're an attorney. That's what people like to watch.
So important.
But your core videos, your website videos, your nurturing videos, that doesn't have to be that. Don't get worried about that. Don't be worried that you have to be entertaining.
That's what I have found. I mean, going back to my early days of practicing law, oh gosh, what were they called? You'd go to the library where these things were on shelves. They were called books. And there was Amjur forms. And so somebody had taken a form for a deposition or something and in your state filled it out, and you would photocopy it or retype it or whatever. And it was just follow a formula. Yeah. Makes life so much easier. Now that's all available everywhere. But what you're talking about is seems like you've done the work of creating that form that all the lawyer needs to do is, like I remember Brian Tracy, you'd go to his seminars and he would have sentences and he would leave blanks where you had to fill in the word, right? So, but it works. So if you're a busy lawyer and you want to find this, for me, and one of the reasons is I don't want lawyers to have more clients. I want them to have more of the right clients.
Yeah.
Because there's still this fear that if I'm not courageous enough to just take A-level clients. I've got all these B and C's that are out there and they're consuming energy, but I have this nascent fear that the A's might go away. So I need this other stuff in the middle and the bottom. And the truth is those ones in the middle of the bottom are keeping you from really making the money and being in service that way that you want to. And so I want people to fill their practice full of their ideal clients, the ones they love, who love them back, who will pay them what they're worth, and who will give them referrals. And so few lawyers I encounter have that situation. They've got a couple that are great clients, but the rest it's almost, they don't believe that it's possible.
Well, it's a different phase of a business. It's like a job. It's like when you're all about the hustle. When you and you can tell if you have a job or not. If you take a 3-week vacation, with like zero contact with your firm, like
Mhm.
no email, no phone call, nothing, no checking in, no cheating. 3 weeks. When you get back, would you have any clients? Any clients you had, would they be happy? Or three, would you have more money in your bank account now than when you left? I went to Europe for a month with my family. Shockingly, we had more money in the bank when I got back. Why? We worked a lot, long and hard to crack this code and get it. So let me tell you the easiest way to get those A clients. It's simple,
Yeah.
real simple math. Real simple math. Get a lot more leads. Get higher quality leads, but get more leads. Because what's a whale or what's your A client? What is that? 20% of the people that need those legal services, 25, 40%,
Mhm.
top 40%, top 10, top 5%. I don't know. What is your
Mhm.
whale? What's your, right? Well, you know, that's 1 out of 10. But if you get 100 leads, that's 10. And by using video in your marketing, there's estimates. It's hard to put a number on. It's about 380 to 420% more increase when you add video to your marketing on everything you do. ROI. That's how many more eyes. That's what you get return. And then when you do that top of the funnel stuff, like I was telling you, like here's strategies and techniques. Educate. They don't know the court system. Like we have clients that some of their high producing videos, they're telling them how to get into the court system and where to go for this type of a case. Why? Their clients never knew how to do this, so they put this in their messaging to them. And they put it on YouTube. Now everybody watches it, right? They're so confused. But when you educate them and you use this conversational video and you get eyes on it, it's a game changer. You're going to get so many more leads. They're going to be more targeted to what you're speaking about. They're already going to have the trust factor because they trust you, they've seen you, and you get more leads. You get more particular with the clients that you want to take instead of being forced to take everyone that stumbles through your door or picks up the phone and calls your firm.
Beautiful. I so appreciate you making the time to share all these nuggets with us today. I know I learned something. I hope those who are watching have learned something as well. One of the things I want to do is, one, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that? And if there's a couple of resources you wanted to share, we could drop it into the show notes because I'm sure people will have questions. So if people want to get in touch with you, how would they do that, Philip?
Yep. The best way is just call our main number at 844 Rainmaker. You can call us there. We've got this great guide on how to optimize your YouTube channel, how to set it up, because you got to set it up right. You got to do it right. And so we've got a link that I'll share with you, but it's the rainmakerinstitute.com/success strategies. We made one just for your podcast. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'll get the YouTube optimization guide.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're interested, which I would highly, highly, highly suggest, we have this 7-day video challenge and we run 2 or 3 of these a year. So if you go to therainmakerinstitute.com/video, you'll see when our next one is up. And it's real practical. If you like these, we put it in a more structured format. And the whole goal with that is after you've gone through your first set of core videos that we've helped you create or you've created on your own, you'll be able to shoot any video, record it in 1 to 2 takes in 15 minutes, and then script any idea in 5 minutes or less.
I love that.
Then you'll do it, right? So,
well, I'll definitely be checking that out. And I so appreciate you. And for those who've hung on, I'm coming up with other fun topics for future episodes, including navigating midlife shifts, how to get the most out of your team and take care of yourself, how to delegate and manage millennials, and a bunch of others. So please subscribe to the channel, check us out. And I have a weekly newsletter on LinkedIn that shares a lot of these strategies as well. That's it for today. Bye for now.